Hi, I'm McClain and I'm on FrConventions. Oh my gosh, my audition for Lone Star. Okay, so yes, I think it was fairly simple. I got an email first because they were like, we think Sierra's too young for this, but we want to see her anyway. Because they watched Mindhunter. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? So I wasn't very attached. So I think the only time I actually read for the character in a room was during a chemistry read. And Jim was there and another actor was there. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do my best and give it my all. Whatever happens, happens, until I read with Jim. And then I said, okay, I want to do it. I do want the part. So I think it was as simple as that. Fairly simple audition process compared to some of my others. Ooh, okay, so my first day at work, I think it was, we were doing a dance rehearsal for the, this honky tonk scene where we were all supposed to be line dancing. And that's where I met just about the whole cast at the same time as we were learning how to line dance for the first time. And it was great. Everybody was just kind of clicking so fast and it's just, yeah, it was really special. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite things about Grace's relationship with Judd, and then my relationship with Jim, is just that it's like we get in the space to work and to tell a story, and it's just like whatever is naturally coming, let's just let it come, you know? I think it's important to us to just try to portray something as real and as grounded and as loving as we possibly can. And it's a journey. It's a journey with it. As you get to know the characters, you get to know the relationship, you know? And it's been a journey for us, I think, just like it has been for the audience that gets to watch it. It really kind of helped fill in any blanks that may have been there and color any spaces that weren't colored when it comes to Grace and Judd's relationship. That's what their origin story did for me. And it was just special to watch, it was special to play, helped me get to know a little bit more about you know, Judd, you know, and why he feels the way that he feels about Grace and just all the things that he's been through. It's a really special story. It's actually, obviously I'm biased because I was in it, but it's one of my favorites to have shot and then watch. I loved Gina before she came on the show. I just thought she was incredible, and I thought she had so much poise, but then so much like strength without like, I don't want to say showing it because she does show it, but it's so much in her eyes that you can see when she is acting, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch. And I loved her before she came on the show, so for her to join us and to have such a close relationship with her, I just consider her to be such a great friend now that it's cool because you can see it on screen. And so it just helps the history, helps the story, helps the chemistry. It's just, yeah, it's all great. Oh gosh. Some parts were difficult. I had to try to remind myself not to get too caught up in the nuances of something like the labor and the birth. It's one of those things you just kind of have to give over to, because I don't have any children and I've never given birth before, you know. But I'm very close to my own mother, who had one of my siblings with no pain medicine, and she tells the story all the time. And I'm just, being so close to her, I felt like I had the best reference I could possibly have. And so it's been one of the most fulfilling parts of playing Grace, because it's something that she gets to experience and that she has experienced that I haven't. So it's special for me in that way. Well, such a good question. I'm not sure I've ever gotten that question, but being able to play a dispatcher, I feel like is such a privilege. You get to see, as soon as the emergency comes in, you get to see the process. And I do think that's a really special, part of the first responders and how they all operate together as a whole. It's a very pivotal part too. And so in certain shows like Lone Star, like the OG 911, the flagship show, it helps you really understand how important that role is, because any misstep could cost someone their life, you know, and that sounds very dramatic, but it could. So it's really cool to be able to play. I love it. You know, she's just sitting at the desk, but it's one of the most pivotal parts of the emergencies and the rescues. The storyline with Grace's dad brought me some resolve. I think it stressed me out for a long time, having, you know, shown those issues with her dad in season 2. Then we went all this time and we didn't see it. But I felt like I could breathe, and it's just, I think it was more important for me for an honest story to be told, and I'm so grateful to Tim for that, because that's just seems like where he lives. Sometimes it just like comes out of him, and it was beautiful to be able to tell an honest story, and then to have some resolve at the end, and for there to be such vulnerability with Grace and her mother and her dad, and then my sisters were introduced. So that was, you know, that was just the absolute icing on the cake for me, and it has left me forever changed. But yeah, I'm really glad we got to tackle that, and tackle it in such a good way. I love my sister so much. I'm such a fan, I think, is the thing. I really, really, truly, and I've said this before, but I respect them so much as artists in their own right. I have watched them do some incredible things that I will be petrified to do, you know, in my own career. So to have two people that know you better than you know yourself, to then play that for a character that you've lived, to be that for a character you've lived with for 4 years now, it was, I had to be like, whoa, is this really happening? Had to try to step out of Sierra for a second, as excited as she was, and really see what this meant for Grace, you know? I want to see Grace explore her relationship with herself, I think, and along with the relationships with the other cast members. That's really important to me, I think, at this stage in Lone Star for Grace. I want her to explore how she feels about things, and to show that sometimes situations are easy and you don't want to say yes, you don't want to be supportive all the time, you know? I think it's just a natural part of being so close to people and having human connections, and you know, sometimes it's tough and you want to say how you feel, you know? You want to put that out there and put it in the forefront. But yeah, and then I really just want to see her cultivate those relationships with everybody else, with the members of the 126, with TK and Paul, Nancy, you know, Jules, Carla. She has a lot of that, but I want to see her like in those relationships. I'm so happy to be here with these guys. I can't even tell you. I told Natasha a second ago, like, I think we kind of love each other. Like, I think we love each other because we spend so much time in each other's company and talking and stuff when we're offset and when we're at work. And I just think it's one of those things that you stumble across that's very rare, to where you really do feel like a family. And obviously every family has its issues, and we fight and we argue, and that's fine. But we really are actually close. Like, we're not feigning it. Like, we really are in each other's faces. Like, when we're offset. But I love it. I hate that I miss them when we rap. I'm like, can I not be thinking about them when I'm not at work? But I do. I love them, and I'm really excited to see what else the future of Lone Star has for all of us as a cast.